Okay. Welcome. Okay, bad start.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Whoa.
welcome everyone to the grand finals of Division 3. As promised, we're here on the, let's call it mainstream, but also Hong was doing a great job also as a secondary mainstream. Obviously, we just want to have the perfect consummation of the entire Division 3 and the entire Season 2. So welcome, I'm Gotaro, and with me Hong as always, so the duo for the season today. Too bad some people were too shy, Hong, to join us on the commentary though during the season.
I know. I know. It would have been really cool to have some more people join us. We had Famous one time. We had Pokers once, but it would have been great to see some more people maybe next season.
Yes. So, this week awaits all the grand finals for Division 3, Division 2, Division 1, and people fighting for the last prizes. And it seems that the best competition for the win is actually in Division 3, because already in Division 2 and Division 1, unofficially yet, sorry guys, unofficially, don't celebrate yet, we've got TT and GeForce as the winners, but we're gonna crown the official champion in the upcoming streams. But today we're gonna talk about Division 3. And before we jump, let's go that for the prizes, and we've got $300 for the entire league. So today the Division 3 winner is playing for $11, second place $6, and third place $3. Session win still counts as a $1, so we've got $30 for the Division 3. And the standings are extremely close for today, because Kipy, Kondrakovski, Lopeska, even Kantowalski, all of them are basically fighting for a win today. So hopefully full lobby today and a big fight, especially in the top 3, Lopeska, Kondrakov, and Kipy. Are you surprised with the rankings before the last session, Honk here?
I would say I'm pretty excited and surprised to see Kondrakov as far up there as he is. It would be even more exciting to see him win. Sorry, Kipy, but I would say Kondrakov is the underdog. He well, at least we've called him that since he came in. We started with season three. Um, but it was all about Kipy and Lopeska at the start, and Lopeska was winning sessions, but Kondrakov has been extremely consistent. He's shown up to every single session, as has Tova, as has Kotick. Shout out to all three of them. Berdang has as well. And so it looks like the consistency could get them there. They're just a few points away. We're using MotoGP point scoring system, so 5 points up for grab between first and second, 4 points up for grab between second and third. There is definitely still potential for some big moves to be made. We could even see Tova make it into the money, like you mentioned.
Yes. So, a lot of fighting for today. Ice gonna be a special on Kipy, Kondrakovsky, Lopeska, and Kam Towalski. Those four are fighting for the top three. A big, big, big challenge ahead of Towalski. Even if he wins today's sessions, there has to be a lot of mathematical conditions for him in order to win the entire league. But everything is possible for today. And as a last session, as a cherry on the top of the entire league, we're gonna have a Joker session. We had it last season. Maybe all of you are more familiar, but just in case we have some new viewers, we're gonna just explain what is happening. This is actually one of the really interesting sessions where with every top 3 finish you reduce to the worst car, if I remember correctly, right?
So basically the way this Joker session works, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's just going to be a random car that's picked from the stock list of all the stock cars that Acclaim made. And then when there is a combo that you don't like, because I think that we have a set track list that we're
Mm-hmm.
going to be looking at shortly. But as far as the cars go, if there's a car that you don't like that comes up, you can block, and you can only block one time. And I noticed it says after a car is raced or blocked, it will no longer appear. So either scenario, if we race on it or if it gets blocked, it won't appear anymore. And basically, the
Okay.
way it works is everybody races on that same car.
Oh, so it's the same car for everyone, right? So again,
Yes,
it gives
that
some.
is the Joker.
Oh, okay. So yeah. And speaking about track list for today, we're gonna have 10 tracks if I see correctly. We've got SBX Alpine, Moondawn, Venice R, Home 1, Radioactive Garden, Port Limano 2, Castle 1, Hospital 5, Hospital 5, Hospital 2, Toy World Mayhem, and Mysterious Toy Vault Factory 2. So a lot of interesting tracks for today and hopefully a lot of great races. I have to say that the last play day we had with the tournament session, that was for me the best session so far, hands down. Was the most exciting, the most interesting. We'll see
Mm,
how the Joker session delivers for today, and yeah, hard to say if we even talk about predictions. I mean, I hope like everyone joins the lobby today. I don't know if we have anyone missing from the top 4, but I know like yeah, a heart would always for me tell to cheer for Lopeska, but seeing a fellow Polish player in the name of Kam Towalski fighting for a top 3, I will be cheering for Towalski today because I want to see a Paul
okay.
Falk finishing in a top 3. So sorry guys, I have to be biased here.
Well, I actually I think Lopesco won't be making it today. There's a good chance of that at least. So if that is the case, it isn't necessarily 100% that Tova will win and get into third, but it will certainly be easier for him because I see Lopesca, his lowest score right now is this featherweight carnival with 13
Mm,
points. So he would have an opportunity to get more if he showed up today, as long as he got over 13 points. So
yeah.
we'll see about that. And yeah, big shout out to Tova. I kind of overlooked him. As far as my pick, um, I want to go with Kondrakov
Mm,
personally because Kondrakov has really impressed me a lot. And you already picked Tova. If we're doing three, my three would be Kondrakov, Kotick, and Berdang. But
Okay.
just for one, it would be Kondrakov. Yeah. Oh, we're about to hop in though, aren't we?
Yeah, soon we're starting. We're still waiting for our observer to join the lobby here. It's really nice to shout out to all the people on the chat. It's really nice that Division 1 players are hopping in towards their fellow competitive players from lower divisions. It's really nice to see them cheering arguably, like less skilled players. So it's really, really nice that people just come to all divisions and just enjoy the show today. So yeah, give it
Yeah.
up, guys, for the people of Division 3 because damn, the fight is tight. It's tight for the win here.
Definitely, and even where money isn't on the table, for example, sixth, seventh, eighth, we've got Berdang, Roddick, and Inigo, and I'm definitely going to be keeping eyes on how they do because it's all about the glory, and so every single position that you can mop up here at the end, we might
Mm.
see Inigo finishing out 2 positions higher than he started here, for example. So eyes on Inigo for sure. Roddick, Berdang, going to be
Mm.
watching for y'all as well.
Yes, yes, yes. And then I have
the
to
the thing
say,
is, yeah,
yes,
yeah, go ahead.
go go.
It's hard to prepare for this session because you basically have to practice every single car. So I think they'll
Oh,
be practicing more for the track. Have the
yeah.
tracks all not nailed down, and then we'll just see if they get the cars that they want or maybe not.
Yeah, and I have to say, too bad. I'm left with 2 challenges, and I just cannot finish the goddamn 9th challenge with AMW on that medieval redux. It's
Yeah, I remember
impossible.
you're on that one.
And I gave it a couple of tries, and like,
Uh,
goddamn, like, I have no idea how to beat that challenge. Like, holy shit.
yeah,
Anyone
welcome to Dromu's world.
anyone on the chat, like tell me if you were able to pass that challenge. I find it extremely hard. I will be trying, keep trying because I love challenges, but for now, I just cannot beat that challenge. I just finished like third, fourth. It's just too hard. Like I'm always like 5 to 10 seconds behind the winner. Always. I don't know.
It sucks when you hit a wall like that
Yeah, it's
because
I
you you've
just
been you've been getting through the challenges. You really have been.
Yeah, this is actually pretty hard. I feel like this is the challenge where with interior car, I need to win on a difficult track. It kind of feels like this. Like I'm against the odds.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so people are joining the lobby already. We see
Ooh.
that Kipy, Kamtowalski, Roddick, Kotick, Sebr, Kondrakovski are in the lobby. So far, people still joining. But I guess we won't see some of the players that did not attend a single session, like Mateo and
Yeah.
Felipe. I didn't see.
It'd be funny if they showed up today, though. They were like,
Yeah,
"Hey, I'm here to race."
yeah. So probably we'll have a maximum of 12 players in the lobby, because I see like 4 players being kind of inactive in the season.
Chat. We got chat asking where Berdanga is. Burdanga. Where is he? That's a good question. We've also got we got Door. We got Hansy Rod, Roddick, Pokers. Welcome in, y'all. Kipy saying not to put predicts on him. Okay, okay.
No one is.
Uh,
Yeah.
So Berdang has made it in.
Okay, so
And
Verdang is in the
yes,
lobby. So yeah, it seems that a lot of players are joining, so it's really nice to see. I want to see the full 12 players in the lobby that were active during the season just to finish up the Joker session and the entire season.
yes.
But still, what is important? We've got Kipy, we've got Kowalski, we've got Kondrakovski. We are missing Lopeska though in a fight for top 3, so maybe there's a potential that Lopeska will be knocked out of top 3 here.
It
There's a
is
potential.
entirely possible. It is entirely possible, and that is why I put it in the title. because we are definitely going to be seeing if it is made into a reality or if he will be able to coast by on what he's already got. Now, I do have a quick prediction going up. We got who will win track number 1. Just a quick little party starter here. Let me make sure I've got everybody.
Yeah, so make your predictions, guys. Again, on the line today is $30 as a prize pool for Division 3. I know
That's
it's not
right.
maybe as much as the other divisions, but still some rewards, even symbolic for the players, for their effort, for showing up, for winning sessions, for being the most consistent player in the entire season. We know that the main event is the Division 1 with the prizes, but I feel like the session bonus is a good motivator just to show up, just to like have this small award for being the best during the day. And if we even check the stats, let me go to the stats honestly for Division 3, because in overall standings we have Kipy with 1 session win, Kondrakov with 2 session wins, so Kondrakov could improve here. Kipy as well, Lopeska with 3 wins, so he will probably not improve anymore, and Tova with 2 session wins. So it's pretty balanced if we talk about the top 4 players here. Minus Kipy. Kipy is like leader of entire division with just 1 session win, which is kind of impressive because it means that Kipy did not have bad sessions. He was averaging points on 19.3, so he was the most consistent player in the league.
Yeah, and basically, if he gets over 16 points in this session, then his third worst result will be a 16 pointer, which is third place. That is crazy consistency. He's gotten 5 second places in a row. Featured strategy, endurance, featherweight tournament, got second place all the way down the line. So just he's been chugging along. Maybe not getting those session wins, which is cool when you get the session win because you get the extra money in your pocket since we raised enough for that extra perk. But I'm sure the thing he's thinking the most about here is he going to get that first place money? Because it's a $5 gap. So you think about it, that's basically 5 session wins right there. So
yeah, exactly. So that's a lot. I think we have the full lobby already. People probably are getting ready here. So what is going to be the first car? Because you're telling me that everyone will drive on the same car.
Right. So we do have the first car. It's Candy Pebbles, which is super exciting. Candy Pebbles is a cult classic, is how I would describe it, similar to RC Sand. It's got some people who will defend it to the end of the earth, but people usually just don't like to drive it. The truth of the matter is people usually just don't like it. It doesn't have great recovery if you do mess up, but pickups here are off. So we're here on SBX Alpine. I don't think Candy Pebbles has too much of an issue with ramps and landing, so should be coming down to who has got the best grasp on Candy Pebbles. So we do see people hopping over. Now, this is the Joker session, and the reason why we call it that is because if you are the host and you have Joker, if you put in Joker in the name wheel, you can switch it off afterwards. But if you put it on, then everyone will be forced to the car that you choose. And so that's why we call it the Joker session. It does look like we're finally loaded in here, and we'll get the action started soon. Predictions are already closed here, so we'll see who's able to win the first session. SBX Alpine starting a little bit chilly.
Yes, and the fight for the crowning of a champion of Division 3 is starting here. We have a small pause though. I know what happened.
We have something strange going on. Some of the AI was turned on. There were some random cars that shouldn't be there. So shout out to our host Nick. Not in an ironic way, but thank you for hosting. Unfortunate to see we had the AI left on. Okay, and we're starting for real here. All right. And the pink Candy Pebbles are on their way. Kondrakov straight off into one of those signpost thingies. And important to note, if you hit that, You will drop down to 0. Berdang runs in, and that is basically the worst way that you can possibly wreck on the track. You have to repo. You can't back out of it. You're just stuck there going 0 kph. And here's another tricky part. Jerome getting spun around. Big launch into an awkward double jump, and then another double jump after that, and then we've got the 2 U-turns. Ooh, collision by our first place driver. That was a yellow name. I think that was Tova. Gets instantly sent back 4 positions because he ran into one of those posts. And as this race continues, we got 6 laps in total. We're going to see a whole lot more posts collided with.
And we see that actually none of the top 3 players fighting for the win are near Kipy. Okay, Kondrakov is kind of fighting Kowalski in a 4th position, if I see correctly.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to keep our eyes on, overall, on Kipy versus Kondrakov. Of course, we do have Berdang. I think it's Berdang, Inigo, and Kodik, and I can double check that. Roddick. Inigo, Roddick, and Berdang are all very tightly matched here as far as overall points go. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that as well. But here, Kondrakov, he has recovered 1 position. Of course, we're not even halfway through the track, so we got a good amount left
the camera stuck. The camera stuck.
I think that was a little free cam moment. I like that. I like that. But we do have Kipy has moved into 2nd place. Tova is back in 3rd. And keep in mind, for Tova, he's fighting for podium. So he needs every single position that he can possibly get as well. So he is going to be hoping that he can pass up Roddick. Roddick, obviously, the winner out of our group of 3 so far. One more time here. Roddick, Inigo. I'll get this down eventually. Roddick, Inigo, and Berdang. Haven't seen Berdang in a while, I will say.
That's actually a pretty long track. With 6 laps, there's a lot of room to actually make a mistake probably, and those jumps are unreliable with that car.
Yes, Berdang. Oh, Berdang is currently sitting in 7th. Oh, we see a flip out of Kipy. He actually stops that green name in their tracks as well as Tova. So anyone trying, by the way, it's Kodik out in 1st. So anyone trying to catch Kodik is going to be having a rough go of it here, as we've got about 2 laps left. And we did just see Kondrakov for a second, still struggling in the back line, fighting with Berdang, defending 6th place here. So not a great start at all for Kondrakov.
Yeah, but a lot of races still to improve. Kipy just keeping the shape, maintaining that 3rd position. Oh!
And we'll see how this jump goes. He got caught off guard last time. Okay, makes a correction. Does worry me a little bit, but looking good. And it is Roddick, Kipy, and Tova for 2nd, 3rd, 4th as we head into the final lap. Kodik off in the distance. He's going to need to have a major accident, though, for anything to go wrong for him at this point. In the meantime, we have Berdang has moved into 5th place, and Kondrakov has fallen into 7th behind Jerome.
Kowalski improving to the 3rd position just behind the Kipy. That's really, really huge for him. If he finishes strong behind the Kipy. Oh, and nice.
But, okay, he floors it into that awkward jump, but he survives. And now we got these tricky 180s. Kipy tries to take it far on the inside, but he gets caught up in the banner. And that's going to be a 4th place for him. He was in 2nd for a lion's share of that race. We have Kondrakov in 7th, finishing up as we look at the sunset. And we do have Seber finishing up as well.
So we've got 7 players. Oh my god. I did not turn the instant replays. Okay, my bad. Sorry, guys. Sorry,
we got
guys.
it for next one.
Yeah. Now it's recording because I forgot to record it. Okay, now it's recording. Holy shit. Okay, my bad.
All right. Welcome in, chatters, as well. Let's get our prediction in. It was Kotick who won that one, so
Yeah,
we'll have to delete that.
and Kamtovalsky being the second. So I guess like top three is actually going down with the cars. How is it now? Or they're gaining points? Oh wait, they're gaining points, right? They're gaining points.
Yes.
Okay,
Lopeska is here after one track, so he is here to defend third place. That's definitely going to be putting the pressure on Tova. Let's look at what Lopeska's third worst race is as of right now. He has 2 missed sessions and he has a 10th place, or I'm sorry, a score of 10, which is somewhere around 5th or 6th. So if he didn't show up today, he would be keeping that 10 pointer. But since he's showing up today, if he does better than 5th or 6th, then he will be removing a 10 out of his bottom 3. So this will be a lot of pressure
mhm.
for Tova. He's going to need to turn it up. We
Okay.
saw a zipper come out. Tova blocks it, and we're moving on to Mouse. We'll see if anyone blocks that.
Okay, actually, do we have table points for today just to show? Because I don't know really. I don't have any links to live tables though with Division 3.
Mm.
Oh, okay, I actually do have, so we will be showing this. I actually do have.
Okay, cool.
So those,
And
we're ready for the next race. I know if you can say, like, we can start whenever.
I'm very excited to announce that Mouse was not blocked. We've got Mouse on Moon Dawn. This is going to be a serious test to these drivers because Mouse is a car that is very infrequently driven on, and it's a car that has a lot of specific things that you have to know about its launches and its landings. And Moon Dawn is a track that is rife with launches and landings, lots of them are going to be here in Moon Dawn. So we'll see how the drivers are able to take Mouse into Moon Dawn. El Raton.
And I have to point out one thing, because it's really nice that Ama is trying different angles as an observer. It's also like what Jerome did, so it's nice that people are experimenting with better experience of the races.
It is actually Pokers, I think. So shout out to Pokers. Unless you got Ama, my bad.
I've got Ama. I've got Ama.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Pokers. And the launches already making people spin. And even just a little launch like that can even be worse than one of the bigger ones because you're not really expecting for how far you have to, how long you have to drive that car in a straight line after it lands to let it balance back out. We've got Kotick once again leading. Kondrakov taking the upper route, but he's losing control. He still manages to come out in first, quickly passed up by 2. Kotick, Tova. He's in between Tova and Berdang on the outside as they turn, getting pushed out by Berdang. And then will they go for the shortcut up above? One will. So Kondrakov will as well.
Oh, that was
decently,
not worth
but
it.
he flips on the tree. A bit of a strange spot. And people are going into the quicksand as well. And Lopeska gets tapped by Berdang. Berdang does manage to recover. It's an incredibly slippery surface. We got these launches as well. It's going to be people possibly veering off. They do avoid it. We've got one more small launch here. Probably won't matter too much. And Lopeska drives off the cliff. It looked like, yeah, and he's gonna get launched or sent back a little bit. And then a couple more as we go into this tight corridor. And now we've got one more big shortcut launch here, and one person not even taking it. Kotick goes straight through it. Lopeska spinning out around it, but he recovers perfectly. And Jeromu on the pass. Lopeska sitting in 6th, Kipy in 7th for this race. As far as first place, we've got Tova out in the lead by 50 meters, Kotick in 2nd, Berdang 3rd, Kondrakov 4th.
Nice. Ama with the tricks of the cameras. Big Tova lead.
Okay. Lopeska still hanging in there despite all of the treacherous terrain that he has kind of destroyed his car, and fortunately, there are no lasting wrecks or car issues on Revolt. If there were, Berdang and Lopezco would be paying a hefty price at this point because they have collided with just about everything that you can at this point. I would assume Tova is capitalizing on this quite greatly. I'm going to flip forward on my screen, and yes, I do see him ahead by 80 meters on Kotick. Kotick has a modest lead over Jeromu for the battle for second, third. Lopezca continues to get knocked, banged, and scraped as he tries to make his way through and just can't seem to get a break at any point. Kipy looked to be passing up 2, instead is going to lose 1, possibly more. Not going to find the pass on Jeromu or Kotick. Jeromu has passed up Kotick. We got the launch. It's a very finicky jump for the mouse, but Kotick makes it look as if it's not. Well, then he does lose control eventually, and Jeromu, who looked like he had disappeared entirely, is going to be able to make some great recovery thanks to Kotick's wreck.
Jerome actually DM'd me with his predictions, and he's predicting himself to win the session today.
Okay. Well, let's see if he can make it happen. He's certainly got his work cut out for him so far. Not the best position on SPX Alpine, although he did manage to find a few positions there by the end. We've got a nice corner cam. This is a great spot by Ama. We've got second and third coming up, taking different routes there. A wall bang, but he's going to be all right. And flipping back, Tova making his way through. Kotick, it looks like Kotick had a wreck at some point because he's now grouped up with Kipy, who obviously has been driving quite swiftly and non-erroneously to be able to pass up both Jeromu and Kotick with such a swiftness here. Although in the moon area, he seems to be losing a bit of control, not as much as Jeromu. Kipy, in that pink name, manages to skate his way on through out of the moon section, sitting in a very comfortable second place compared to what he was in just half a lap ago.
And this track is so long, it's like 1500 meters with 4 laps, oh my god.
It's definitely one of the longest tracks in the game. Kondrakov continuing to try to take that shortcut. Ben Lopezco once again wrecking into the quick stand. I think Kondrakov might have influenced him a bit there. Jeromu also has fallen way back to 6th place, and we see people continuing to fall off this section, which is a bit of a strange section to be falling off at. But we've seen Lopezca, Kipy, and now Kotick all wrecking there. Berdang getting a little bit too close, and he can't make it through. Oh no, that's going to be on the blooper reel for sure. We got Jeromu and Kondrakov launching. They passed up Kotick in the meantime, who seems to have not had such great fortune as they did on that launch. And so now Jeromu, out of nowhere, has recovered a lot of lost time. Kondrakov has made a lot of new time and new space for himself as they move into the final lap. We do have Kipy versus Tova for first, second. Tova is only 50 seconds ahead, or meters ahead of Kipy at this point. So Tova has lost a lot of his lead, and will have to be cognizant of if he loses more, and indeed he has. In the meantime, in between this battle for third, we see a battle for first, second on our hands now as well. Kipy and Tova, 15 meters between each other, and Tova has been passed by Kipy here. Can we get in on the first, second, please? We need first, second position here. Well, I guess the pass has already happened at this point. Kipy 20 meters ahead of Tova at this point, and in the meantime, Kotick, Kondrakov, and Jerome trying to...
Like over 100
he
meters.
Lost 100 meters in almost no time. And I'll tell you what, Tova needs those points, and he unfortunately did not find them. So Kipy is currently leading. Jeromu tried to take the shortcut, and he did catch up Kondrakov, but he's going to try to avoid the quicksand here. Okay. So Tova versus Kotick in the meantime, second, third. Well, I was going to say, due to the silliness happening in the quicksand, Kondrakov and Jeromu fell out of this in a great way, but Kotick has given them a window of opportunity back in.
I just wondered what happened to Kondrakov if he had some troubles on the track, because he had a huge lead.
I think he... Oh, colliding with the trees. We got Kondrakov now fighting for fourth with Jeromu, as Kipy finishes this race up. He's got a great lead on Tova, and Tova is going to be hard pressed to give up second place at this point. So we are looking at Jeromo versus Kondrakov. He could go on the inside, drop down. He's not going to go for the cut. We have another cut here, and one more cut here. He's going to take it this time. No, he's not going to find the inside corner. He is going to launch up, and Lopeska grabbing the scraps of 6th place, Berdang 7th. Let's join the call with Amma here.
Oh wait, are those all players finishing the race already?
Yes.
Okay, so we can go to the replays. So Kipy losing a huge lead, unfortunately for him. But what I have to say, this race was extremely long, 7 minutes, and I feel like all the players had trouble controlling the car itself. I feel like not only the track was challenging, but also this car was making it double hard here. Like, yeah, people falling into the water all the time, Lopeska, people just spinning after the jumps, hitting walls. And that was like a messy race for them. But somehow, not only Kowalski lost a huge lead, but Kipy finished first twice in a row. No, wait, Kotick won the first race. So Kipy came third, I think, and now first. So we'll see. Will be interesting how the standings are looking. We're gonna jump probably straight to standings just to check how it's looking. Yeah, exactly. So Kotick is still in a lead match. Like, this is so close. Look at this, Kotick with 13 points, Kowalski 30 points, Kipy 29 points, Kondrakovsky 23. So a really tight fight between Kowalski and Kipy. Lopeska not starting the best. I mean, not the best. He finished what, 4th or 5th, so not that bad, but he's still behind and needs to do some catching up. We're going to jump to the 3rd race, and first race is on New York 54. Correctly.
Yes, the NY54 is our next choice, and it has not been blocked either. So we are gonna have the NY54 now. Tara, I would love to hop into a Discord call with Amma here, so he can hear the comm since we're on a delay here in on Twitch. But all good if not.
Okay.
We are going to be hopping to Venice Reverse.
Can actually do that just on the one of the main channels. It's fine.
Okay.
I already joined, so Amma can join.
Cool.
I can tell Amma to join as well.
Great. Okay. All right, so we are headed to Venice Reverse, and as always, we do have the Italiano advantage being held by Lopeska.
Why people are spamming E?
The Amma had that in the chat box as we were looking at the NY54, but important section of the track, Lopeska discovering that I spoke a little too soon. He's going to get a perfect drift through all of that. I think partially helped out by some of his enemies there, but it is going to work out.
Well, this car looks cool, actually. This car actually looks cool.
This is my favorite car. The issue is it really doesn't fit into its car class. It's very outclassed. And so we often don't see it driven. Jeromo being more acquainted with some of the parameters of the car the hard way here as he fails out on the bridge. Roddick as well.
Oh, that
was something to keep in mind. Yeah, this
is
a rear-wheel drive car.
What class is this car?
Actually, in IO, I think it's been moved to a class below. So I think it's driven as an advanced car in IO. Actually, I think it's amateur in IO, and I think it's advanced for the stock rating. So we do see the battle for second, third, fourth. all these people desperately need points. We've got Lopeska, Berdang, and Kondrakov. Lopeska is fighting for third. Kondrakov fighting for first, and he by far gets the shortest end of that deal. He is really feeling pressure in his battle with Kipy, and you can see it. You can really see it just blatantly on the screen that he is feeling the pressure. Kipy with a win on Moon Dawn that came out of nowhere, and he is leading on Venice Reverse. So this is a tricky position that Kondrakov finds himself in. He is going to pass up one, maybe two. We saw Jeromu wrecking there as well. Tova has been feeling the heat also. He's up against Lopeska in the battle for third, and we see him falling down into seventh. So we can see just how much pressure has influenced these drivers. That being said, Kipy was talking in Twitch chat about how nervous and stressed out he is, and yet he is 50 meters out in the lead here in Venice Reverse after picking up a dub. What do you think there?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes when you're I feel like sometimes when you actually experience, obviously there's always a stress when you're racing, but there's just ability that sometimes the stress is actually pushing you to stay consistent, stay focused, like play even like above your best. So it just depends how you control your stress, but there is always stress.
You're absolutely right. Talking of stress, somebody gets pushed straight. That was Kotick getting pushed straight into the drain pipe, and that tricky section of the track. It might not look like much, but there's a surface change right there on that section. We saw two players completely wipe out from it. So it's now Jeromu versus Lopeska. Lopeska has wrecked earlier on. He's struggling to maintain control. He does somehow make it through the diagonal door, and they're going to go through the launch and around the corner.
Jeromu. Leave the
Okay.
place.
Sparta style, knocking him straight into the canals of Venice here. We do have Kotick swiping up a few positions. Berdang trying to nab a few as well as he completely dive bombs the hell out of everyone there, and he fails because of it. Always nice and rewarding to see someone who gets effed over in their own dive bomb.
But
But we are here lap 5 of 6.
But I have to say, with that Jerome versus Lopeska fight, I was feeling that Jerome was kind of positioning himself, that he was expecting a wide turn, and he wanted to actually hit Lopeska. I was like feeling like he was expecting that, and it just worked perfectly for him.
Yep. Okay, so we see Lopeska versus Kondrakov. Lopeska takes the right side. They're over the bridge, and Lopeska cuts off Kondrakov, but Kondrakov still makes it onto the bridge, and Lopeska is now driving in reverse. And will he pull a Nick and make it all? No, he will not. No, he will not. He is going to fall into those canals, lose two positions. Kondrakov and the NY54, obviously, it is more than meets the eye because it looks like such a simple car, but it is, oh my god, it is catching even the furthest up racers. Just wreck after wreck. We even see checking in on first, we see Kipy is 150 meters out in the lead. Kipy is the only one who can find any semblance of consistency with this vehicle. Now, I think we should flip forward just a little bit. We do have, well, never mind, Jeromu has fallen out of his battle. We see Tova Lopeska passing him up right there, and Lopeska aggressive turn onto the bridge, and in fact Tova lets him by. Okay, so Lopeska, Tova, Jeromu.
And I have to say, so far I see that the car that are drawn are not good for the players, because in second track where players kind of feel struggling with controlling the car on a track, like we have seen so many flips on this race, it's just incredible.
Yeah. It's interesting. We've seen Zipper blocked, which is a car that people are more comfortable with usually. And I was wondering which one we'd see. Do we want people driving? Do people want to drive the oddballs, or do people want to drive the good cars? That's basically what it comes down to strategy wise. So far, the oddballs have been getting through, which is always a pleasure to see, especially here at the grand finale.
Yeah, look at those spins. Look at what is happening on the hitting the wall there.
The only person making it work right now is Kipy.
Every turn, look at
every turn for these other drivers. They can't do it. Kotick. And then we've got right here 2 more. 1,
Oh, this is what. But look at
Well, we
Jerome.
didn't. Oh yeah,
Oh, that
he
was
said, "See ya."
brutal fatality, I have to say.
Attempted right there as well. Attempted dive bomb.
But as a fun fact, it's the second race in a row that Kipy has won, and somehow he's tied still with Kotick. Kowalski losing some points. He's two behind Kotick and Kipy. So he's still fighting Jerome in the fourth place, but with a big lose. And we'll jump into the fourth race, and the car is going to be RC San, if I'm seeing it correctly.
That's what it looks like, indeed. So RC San is it's kind of come more into the spotlight because of drivers like G-Force, who are always huge advocates of it, and it doesn't get blocked. So we are going to be here, home one, 18 laps on the RC San, a classic NASCAR track right here for y'all,
It's a
and
short track.
they're
It's like less
they're
than
going to be
50.
driving in a circle.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, seriously? And this is the GeForce
Yes.
car. GeForce favorite car, right?
Exactly. Oh, yes, indeed. This is G-Force's car of choice. We got some other people who are really big advocates of this car, but G-Force is the one for me personally who stood out. Kotick, as we see that with the amateur car, people are going to be going for that couch skip, and it's a very narrow pathway. So, for example, Jerome and Kondrakov side by side as they take the skip. Some people not taking it, which is a smart choice. Kotick almost grabbed a bunch of positions, and Jeromu trying to go into that grand piano. A great attempt. It doesn't work out for him, though. Lopeska versus Kondrakov versus Roddick for
Something
second,
to
third.
highlight. Something to highlight. Kondrakov, who is fighting for the win in the league, is not doing the best so far. He is in the 5th position with 12 points to lose to Kipy. So this is also something to point out.
Yeah, big. I mean, we're making our way through this event, Terror. Like the
Ooh.
fact that okay, he loses a position or two, maybe okay, he does get it back. No. He's holding on to fourth here.
Oh. Oh.
Oh no.
What is happening? Reload. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is happening? Let me
It
reload the page. Reload fast.
yes. Perfect timing actually here. As we see them take that tricky skip, two options for them there, and Kotick finds the inside on Kondrakov, and it's a clean pass into third for Kotick. Kondrakov needs every point that he can get. Keep in mind, he is effectively 3 points down. I'm sorry, yeah, exactly 3 points down versus Kipy as they head into the grand finale here. Kipy is out in 6, so this is one saving grace for Kondrakov. But keep in mind, we've got like 10 laps left, maybe 11 laps, depending on where you are in this race so far. So it's hardly over yet. This should be one of our more consistent races with amateur class cars on this track.
But I think Lopeska is in the lead, right? And he's safely there. So.
I wouldn't say safely. He is in the lead. He's in the lead by 15 meters right now. So it is relatively safe. He's up against Kotick and Roddick. Kondrakov is about 15 meters back in fourth place at this point. And I'm going to check on Kipy. We've got Kipy in 6th still. He's challenging Berdang. Love the cinematics here. Yes. Okay, and we've got our good eyes on Kotick versus Roddick, which has been they've often found themselves dueling against each other. Kotick has managed to break away in the overall point standings in late weeks here, but earlier on it did seem like Kotick and Roddick were just neck and neck constantly. So we are headed into lap 13 out of 18 here. The track is starting to wind down. Kipy is sitting in 15th, in 5th, and Kondrakov is in 4th. So while Kondrakov is getting some semblance of points over Kipy here, if he can finish out ahead of him, it's not going to be anything major unless he can find someone like Roddick, Kotick, Lopeska. They're not too far away, and also Lopeska and Kotick are approaching the point that they're about to start lapping the last place driver, who is currently Seber. So we could see a bit of a natural hazard happening on the track as they try to pass him up. Seber on the outside. But yeah, we've got
And Lopeska
Lopeska
lost the
versus
lead.
Kotick.
Oh wait, no, he didn't.
No, he
I'm
does.
sorry.
He has it. He's passing. Yeah. But it looks like Roddick has fallen back a good amount, so it is just up to Kotick to challenge Lopeska here. And I'm not going to lie, Tara, he's done an outstanding job at doing so far. He's really closed the gap in a short amount of time, and a short amount of time was absolutely necessary because he's here lap 17 of 18. Time is running out if he wants to pass Lopeska.
Lopeska actually, if he wins this track, then it's really impressive. He starts the race for maintaining his top 3 position in the league. And we still have 6 tracks ahead of us, so anything can happen. And unfortunately, Kondrakovsky is in the 4th place. Kipy not to be seen. I don't know where's Kondrakov.
Kipy is in 5th. And they do finish up in a row just like they started. Kondrakov 4th, Kipy 5th. So getting a few points, but nothing major.
Oh, what happened there at the end?
Seber still needing to finish that lap, saying, "Get the hell out of my way." So, not the most eventful track. Like I said, it is a good old NASCAR track. So, that is to be expected. But we saw Lopeska fighting. I mean, really, it was Kotick fighting tooth and nail against Lopeska, trying to close that gap. He wasn't successful in doing so, but look at that beautiful pass on Roddick in our instant replay. He really put in a lot of work here. I'd like to see Kotick continuing to scramble for these points.
And so far, no ties. Okay, only one tie between Kondrakowski and Roddick, but Kotick now in the lead. Kipy second, Kamtovalski in the 3rd place, and Lopeska gaining some points. Look at this. He is missing one race and already getting caught with Verdang Jeromu and Roddick and Kondrakowski. Basically, only 5-point gap between him and 4th place. So Lopeska is here to play. And the next track going to be Radioactive Guard, and with a car of we don't have it yet.
Well, it was pole pause. Lopeska is going to use his block on the pole pause. Unfortunate to see, one of my favorites. But Radioactive Garden is going to be an interesting track no matter what car gets picked. I'd love to see a car that's just very poor handling and landing here on Radioactive Garden. We're going to Genghis Car, which is a pretty straightforward rookie car. Shouldn't be anything too spectacular here on Radioactive Garden, but we'll certainly see. I may be eating my words here eventually.
And I have
as
to
far
say,
as the scores go, yeah, you go ahead.
I have to say that Kotick is impressing today because his finishes so far are
Yes.
1st, 3rd, and double 2nd place back to back. So he's extremely consistent.
And I know we've got some people cheering for Tova in the chat, so hate to say it, but Tova is being approached by 2 people in the standings right now, Roddick and I think Kondrakov is the other, and Kondrakov fighting for 1st overall. So Tova cannot let off the gas here, because if Kotick comes in 1st and Tova comes in like 5th or 6th, that could be all that is needed for Kotick to find a position over him by the end of it. So definitely something to be aware of. He is a pretty far ways behind Tova, but if Tova has a bad session here, it's definitely doable for Kotick. That being said, he does get pushed way off the track, maybe into the water even there on one of the first turns, and it is going to be Old Faithful Kipy out in another early lead. Lopeska did win home 1, but Kipy has been tearing it up besides that. So we'll certainly see. Kondrakov is fighting with Kipy for 1st place. He's currently sat in 4th, very much has Kipy within his reach here. But he needs not just to pass Kipy, but Kipy also needs to fall down and lose to some people here. Because Kondrakov first, Kipy second, I just don't think that's going to seal the deal for him.
It's funny how top 40 is looking, because literally Kondrakov's, Tovas and Kipy are fighting for the top 3 spot, and there's just Jerome randomly interrupting them.
Right. Right. And Jeromu is possibly in the battle with Inigo, Roddick, and Berdang, so you can't cut him out either, especially if he keeps performing well. I haven't seen Inigo in a while. Did Inigo not make it in? I think we might not have Inigo here, and it would just be Roddick and Berdang and Jeromu. So here on lap 3 of 10, about to be on lap 4 of 10. And I'll be honest here, nothing especially, spoke a little too soon, but mostly nothing crazy has been happening here on the Genghis car.
Yeah.
This is a very finicky track that some people very much despise for some of its issues, but Genghis car has been having no issues in sight.
Yeah, so far not many fights there, only one mistake that we've seen, major, from Saber, but in the top, that's really calm there.
Yeah, Kipy still leading, and we do see Tova versus Kondrakov here for third, fourth. Lap 5 of 10. Jeromu in a relatively comfortable second place. Wow, and Jeromu actually just found the pass on Kipy. It was right here at this jump, and there's Kipy in our vision. Kipy had quite the accident.
What? What? Totovalsky.
After a number of pretty straightforward, chill, and relaxed laps, we've got Tova and Kipy with some serious acrobatics here. Tova wrecked on the ramp, I think, and he collided with that tree as well and just bounced straight off. This is the area I was speaking of when I was talking about Radioactive Garden. That's a very tricky section, and it did claim Kondrakov there, but it wasn't too impactful. In the meantime, Kondrakov is still 40 meters behind Kipy, and he falls into the water. Wow.
Oh man, Kondrakov with a mistake.
There
in
he
position.
is. Yeah, loses 2 positions in the blink of an eye. It is Jeromu still in first, Kipy fighting for second, Kodik, Tova, and Kondrakov all in a death ball for third place.
So finally something happening in that race.
Yeah.
Tovas and Kondrakov have to fight for the better position. Kotik taking over.
Love it.
Jeromu in the lead.
Kodik, Tova, Kondrakov, third, fourth, fifth. It continues.
Tova. Oh, what is happening here? A lot of exchanges.
Yeah, what? Some very small bumps, and that can happen to you. We saw Kondrakov, he might have been steering a little bit, trying to position himself for the next turns, but got caught on a bump and just completely slides off and ends up in 5th place, but he's still there in this group. They're on lap 9 of 10, and in the meantime, checking in on first, second, we've got Kipy versus Jeromu on their final lap, 10 meters between them. So we might want to check in on that as well for our final lap here. We do see Jeromu leading versus Kipy. There's in some of their final turns here. Let's at least see this super tricky jump turn here, and then we can check out third, fourth, fifth. Okay, so pretty straightforward there. Unless something crazy happens in the tree area, we are going to see Jeromu finishing out over Kipy, and then we've got Kodik, Tova, Kondrakov for third, fourth, fifth. and nothing crazy going to happen. Whoa, Roddick has slid into 6th, and it is now, or I'm sorry, 5th, and it's Kondrakov in 6th. So Kondrakov continuing to fall out of his battle with Kipy. Oh, this is a bad sign, Terror.
Yeah, some changes will be in the table for sure, but the one
Yeah.
replay is just actually really funny here. I think this is the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Just
was that from
you gotta be careful,
Kantomaski?
you know.
What was that?
Trees help humans, but they don't always help cars. It's just an unfortunate situation for Tova to have to learn it here
That was
in the
so
grand
random.
finale.
That was so random, just flying by. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to actually laugh at it, but that was kind of unfortunate. Yeah, but the tables. Kotick maintains his lead, Kipy with a second place, and now Kamtovaski losing some points towards Kipy and Kotick. This is good. Kondrakovsky with not the best position. Lopeska as well. This race was not the best for him. Jeromo establishing fourth place for now.
Yeah, yeah, Jeromu moving way up in the standings. I think he was even behind Berdang, but he was definitely behind Roddick and Kondrakov. And now Jeromu is trying to move up. And a great position from
Oh
Jeromu
my
could.
god.
Yes,
Cougars!
yes, you saw it. You
Cougars!
saw it.
Uh...
We're here on the Cougar. Nobody's blocked it.
Let's
I don't know if
go.
it's just because you're here or exactly why people have not blocked this Cougar. It
What
is one of the more straightforward cars. So I guess
what
people banning straightforward cars, they got their blocks out of the way.
what kind of multiverse is that? Everyone on Cougar. What is
Hey,
this?
hey, we've been blessed. We've been blessed here at Port Lamau too, and I actually forget which version of the port this one is. So we'll have to see. Um, okay, I know exactly what version it is. It is the version I was hoping for. Is definitely the trickier of the two. Well, they're both pretty damn tricky. But we here on the Cougar, we've got the Roddick rocking the Air 2 special, the Dr. Pepper sponsored Cougar. He is going to be trying to move through the ranks. Lopeska with an early lead, but Roddick taking the outside line. He manages to swoop into the inside around Lopeska, and Tova's passed up Lopeska in the meantime. Kipy out in 4th place. And where is Kondrakov?
Oh, what happened there with Roddick if I saw correctly? Lopeska fighting for the lead with Tovaski. Kipy still in the third.
Oh, this is a tricky position here, especially this turn right here. They usually go for a wall bang, but Lopeska gets turned around in all the fanfare and excitement of it. Kotick, who is someone who was quite quiet on Radioactive Garden, has lit back up here in Port Lamau too. He's out in 3rd. We've got an intense U-turn scenario. And we've got the live cam. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that white Cougar skin, whoa, gets passed up by 2. Tries to take him back. Finds 1. It is Tova. Passes up Kotick. And Kotick wrecks out there too. So, ooh, tricky situation for Kotick. Another beautiful little camera scenario. Kipy finds him on the inside, pushes him out of the way. Lopeska still trying to find ground. Tova on the pass too far inside.
Too greedy by Tovalski.
Yes, indeed, indeed. In the meantime, we do have Kondrakov in 5th place, Roddick in 4th, and Jeromu in last place here on Port Lamau. So a lot of the recovery work that he had been trying to put in is going to be vaporized here by Port Lamau too, unless he can find some positions. He's 125 meters behind Sever, so something drastic must have happened. In the meantime, these racers towards the front, they're all fighting for a podium spot, but only one of them are going to get it unless this first or second opens up a bit more, which it currently has not. First and second have a 40-meter lead over the rest of the field here. It is Kipy in first, Lopeska in second, Kotick on the inside. He passes up 2. He says, thank you very much, and he moves back up hunting for more points. He is Tova is his next target, and Kipy we see too far on the inside, greedy just like Tova was in the previous laps, and Lopeska moves back into first place.
But still, eyes should be on Kowalski as well here. And where's Kondrakovsky?
Yes.
He's fighting for the win in the lead, and he is losing some meters to Kipy. Not something he can afford.
Yeah. Yeah, he even got passed up by Berdang here, who has not been having the best session in the Joker session. He's been able to keep it pretty close, but pretty close to the backfield. So this is not where Kondrakov wants to find him. And in fact, we saw Kondrakov try to pass, but he couldn't. And now Berdang regains sixth place. Berdang is even hunting more. He's hunting down Kotick as well as Roddick. We've got Kipy and Lopeska, meanwhile, 40 meters out in the lead still. But they are neck and neck, embroiled in battle. And I think we are back here on the MotoGP system, unless y'all can fill me in if that's not the case. But another important to remember, 5 pointers on the field here for first versus second. 4-pointer for second versus third. Lopeska trying to close the gap to overtake on the inside. Instead, he just wrecks Kipy, but he does find it. It might have been a little bit messier than he hoped for, but here on the final lap, Lopeska does find the overtake on Kipy, and then Kipy takes it right back, beautifully positioned for the chicane into the U-turn. Lopeska on the inside.
Ooh,
but
what
now
happened
Kipy,
there?
oh, whoa! I don't know. I think Lopeska might have influenced that landing a little bit, or maybe it was just cougar params. I've never heard cougar params be a meme before, but maybe we'll start it here today. And Lopeska trying to regain first. He's successful at it so far, and this has just been back and forth for Lopeska and Kipy, but it does look like Lopeska has the potential to hold on to it despite Kipy's best efforts. Is going to be positioned on the inside. Lopeska will be, and for the final turn, it is Lopeska barely beating out Kipy. Tova right there in third, hoping someone made a mistake. Roddick fourth, Kotick fifth, Berdang sixth, Kondrakov all the way down there in seventh. An unfortunate race for our first place challenger, Kondrakov. Our first place defender, Kipy, continuing to have an especially strong session.
Yeah, and that was actually a lot of exciting fights between Lopez and Kipy. A lot of, I have to say, mistakes on the map happened, but still beautiful race, nice finish. There's like a lot of replays here as well, especially the last lap. What happened there? That was a nice shot here by Ama, the wide shot.
Yeah.
So, we will jump into the 7th race, and the tables are, well, it was really interesting. Kipy is still fighting for the win. He actually is now in the first place, 1 point ahead of Kotick, and Kamtovalski is in the third place, losing 7 points to Kipy and 6 points to Kotick. Kondrakovsky is actually far behind, so Kondrakovsky actually have to defend against Kamtovalski, because he's fighting there for the win, and if he wins, he can actually take over and finish second probably, because Kipy is in a really good state right now, with only 4 races to finish.
Exactly. This race is coming to a close now. I did just get filled in by Nick that we are using a standard system, so my bad. Not MotoGP system. Every single position is worth 1 point, all the way up and down. Now, I did just put up a quick prediction. Who you think is going to win Castle 1? Now, we don't know what car it is yet. It is Aquasonic, so we're going to see. We've got a lot of people with blocks left, and we don't have that many tracks left. So I don't know what cars these people are holding the blocks for. They didn't use it on Mouse. They didn't use it on NY54. They did use it on we had one car that Pole Pause they used it on. Kotick is finally, someone is going to throw out a block here. Aquasonic, a very straightforward car. Also a very reliable and dependable car, and not the fastest car. So I think it's smart to block that if you feel confident, because a lot of it is going to come down to the initial positions where everyone's grouped up and clumped up. So now it's the Panga. We're going to see if anybody chooses to block the Panga. It's a very wide car, a very tricky car. Kondrakov is going to hit the Panga with the block. So we're going to cycle to a third car here as people continue to throw away their blocks.
I want to point out one thing that actually Lopeska mentioned here in the game lobby, that he had an opportunity to drive Cougar and he did deliver. He did win a race with that car. So yeah, when it mattered, Lopeska said, okay, no way I'm losing with Cougar. So props to him for maintaining his position as a top Cougar player.
Right. You got to defend I mean, when it comes to the Cougar, you got to defend your rank. So shout out for that. So as far as our remaining tracks, we've got Castle 1, which there's a prediction that just ended for us. So sorry if you missed out on that. But we'll have Hospital 2, Toy World Mayhem, and then we'll conclude with Mysterious Toy Vault Factory 2. So not much action left on the field. We're past the halfway point. And to refresh y'all on our battles, we've got a battle between Kipy and Kondrakov for first place. They're currently separated by 3 points. We've got Lopeska in third, who is 8 points behind Kondrakov. He could even be fighting for second at this point. Kondrakov has had a few tough races. We've also got Tova, who is 7 points behind Lopeska, sitting in fourth place, challenging podium. And remember, even here in Division 3, money is on the table for first, second, and third. So Tova is fighting. We've also got Kotick, who's a ways back, but he's had an outstanding session, and he might be trying to hunt a few people down. We'll see what he can do. As far as I know, it's not a mathematical impossibility, but we will continue to see. They're loaded in to Castle. We will be getting our race there on the Dust Mite, which is...
What is this camera? Come on!
I love this camera. We got the overhead camera. We get to see all of them tightly grouped up here at the very beginning. Dust Mite is a very, I would say it's another cult favorite car in the same situation as Candy Pebbles, except it's closer to NY54 because it's not very strong. People, it's usually seen as more of a meme pick, typically. But the Dust Mite is very beloved by specific members of the community if you're a Dust Mite fanatic.
That was such a nice turn by Kamtovalsky, and he ended up with a bump to a wall. Unfortunate by him.
He loses it all in an instant. And we got a couple people falling into the candelabras as well. Definitely not a position you want to be in. But like I was saying, if you are one of those Dust Mite fanatics, throw your support in the chat. We do have a crazy 1-2-3 turn. Now we see some of our best drivers on this track. We did see the endurance for the RVRL. I'm going to wait, though. We got a 180 right here. Parodic passes up Kipy, but it gets pushed by Kondrakov. So Kipy actually ends up pretty well there. Lopeska first, Kipy second. I'm sorry, Berdang second, Kipy third. And then we've got Kotick fourth. So Berdang has squeezed his way up in the ranks, doing quite well. If he can finish in second, that will definitely be the revival that he needs as we head into our final 3 tracks, which is going to be after this one. But as I was saying, in that 3-point turn, we've got some people who turn it into a 2-point turn by angling their car properly on the second turn to where you just take a diagonal there for the final point. So we'll see if anybody does that here on the Dust Mite, or if they continue to take it as a 3-point turn, but they are approaching right now into that turn. I will say we saw Lopeska do it perfectly. Roddick having to take that third turn.
Oh, Roddick.
He was looking strong, defensively boosting against Kipy, but I think he flew too close to the sun there and couldn't get out of from ahead of Kipy. Just gets pushed out of the way by him. Now he's going to be pushing Roddick forward. Berdang has fallen out of second down into fifth. Fourth, if you can find the pass on Roddick. We're here on lap 3 out of 5. So one of our quicker tracks, at least it feels like. Keep in mind, Moondawn, that was what, like 7-8 minutes? But we're already halfway through this track, so it's going to be about 5 minutes until we're done. Lopesca versus Kipy. This has been on the tips of our tongues for this entire session. Lopesca and Kipy both turning out in full form here for the finale. Kotick, a very honorable mention. He's currently sitting in third trying to challenge, but all eyes on Lopesca and Kipy. They have been two of our top performers. And like I said, we could potentially see Kipy pass Kondrakov.
Wait, what happened
Oh
there?
my goodness. Oh my god. What we saw was, I think one landed on top of the other, just completely blocked them out of the way. And we saw the pass. I think we got Kotick in the lead now. Yes, Kotick. A very opportunistic double pass there on the 180 jump. And very nice by Kotick. Roddick, in the meantime, not having the best incline slope there.
And Chad going crazy with what happened with Kipy and Lopesca.
So keep in mind, Kondrakov is currently sitting in 5th place. So, like we've been saying, Lopesca, I think he's 8 points behind Kondrakov for second. So, and beautiful angle here for Alma. This is a good one to catch. We can see how they take that jump. You can see some people do not know the line for this jump, but he's just going to go straight head-on collision.
Kowalski in the last place, I think. This is a disaster for him, a disaster race.
Indeed. And Kotick could even pass him up in the overall standings if it keeps continuing like this. Because Kotick is trying to win this race. We're on the final lap. We've got Kotick versus Kipy. Lopesca nearby. Kipy losing traction on the sloped up incline section. They're going to be jumping through this doorway. Incredibly impactful jump. They do make it through without any commotion. Very impactful final turn. We'll get to see if Kotick has got it figured out, this 3-point turn, because if not, Kipy will be taken to the cleaners with this one. Lopesca shoves him out of the way, though. Keep in mind, with the standard point system, each pass is as important as the last. So Lopesca finding 1 point on Kipy, and he's super happy about that. He shoves Kipy right out of the way. Crazy stuff happening here, too.
And that was actually important finish by Kondrakov, where he actually went from the last to the 6th place, so he's still maintaining some chances. That was important finish by him.
Definitely. That was a good catch by you. I was a little bit caught off guard. But yeah, Tova, like we've been saying, he needs those points. He does have a nice cushion against Kotick, but he needs to find positions for sure.
We're gonna have that replay with actually Kipy and Lopesca being on each other. Like, come on, guys, just get a room. Don't do it on a stream. Look at that.
Okay, here it is, lap 4 or 5. Tries to just jump right over him. Just blocks him.
I know, that was awkward. That was weird, I have to say.
Lopesca's not happy about it in the chat either. I mean, I wouldn't say he's pissed off, but he's not particularly happy about that. He called it a bit harsh. But as far as the overall points, keep in mind, Kondrakov 8 points ahead of Lopesca. And here is our current standings. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is actually so interesting. Feels like Kipy is just way too consistent. So, and Kondrakovsky is having a rough time in that session. But look at that Lopesca missing one race. If he like even, let's say, 10 points, he would be in the 3rd place right now. But it's, I feel like eyes and the pressure is on Kondrakowski, because not only he has to maintain advantage over Lopesca and over Kondrakovsky, he has to, I don't know, like maybe try catch on Kipy, but the gap is big, so Kipy would have to actually have some couple of bad races, but look at this. He's finishing all the time in top 3 or top 4 in all the races.
Yeah, and Kondrakov's saving grace here, as far as holding on to second goes, is Lopesca's missed session or missed race on SBX Alpine. That's really his saving grace here, because it is keeping him tethered to Lopesca. He's 3 points behind Lopesca right now. We are on Colonel Moss, another rookie No one wants to drive on those upper class cars except for the Cougar, apparently. But we do have the Colonel Moss on Hospital 2, a very sluggish race, not quite as sluggish as the Fat Slug. But it is going to be a pretty straightforward race. I think it's all going to come down to the shortcut that goes through one of the doctor's rooms, their private room. So we'll see if. Oh, actually, this is this the hospital that I'm thinking of? I think this is the other hospital. I do get those 1 and 2s mixed up a little bit. This is Hospital 2, indeed.
And 9 laps on this map. Hey, this car is
Indeed,
I don't
indeed.
like it. It sucks, this car.
I think a lot of people would have similar feelings, but they have chosen to drive it here for Division 3. And we see a bunch of people getting turned around early on. I'm used to driving the reverse version of this track more. This feels like the reverse version right here, but it's actually not. We do have Berdang Lopeska, I think, passed up Kipy right there randomly.
People defending this car on the chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry, chat. By the way, shout out to chat. Y'all have been popping up the whole time. Shout out to y'all. But we also shout out to Lopeska on the inside there. Berdang not ready for it, and he gets passed up by Tova as well. In the meantime, Lopeska going through wall ride across all of those cabinets. Certainly not something you do in real life, but
I know
unfortunately.
Am I jinxing it? Actually, Kipy is nowhere to be found in the top, and Kamtovalski is in the second place right behind Lopeska. So
I don't. He was already feeling so much pressure, but yeah, I guess you could be cursing him here. He is in 8th place, so this could be the beginning of the end for Kipy. But however, I find it hard to believe. He's had such a great session here. Lopeska, the main person who's been challenging him lately, is so far down in the standings currently, and so is Kondrakov. So it's really going to take a whole lot of mistakes out of Kipy and a whole lot of miracles out of Lopeska or Kondrakov to actually find the overtake on Kipy and actually beat him in the overall standings here. But we certainly could see it happen if Kipy doesn't step up his game right now.
Geronimo.
Now, in the meantime, we do have Kondrakov in 6th, 7th, fighting with Roddick. So Kondrakov has been passed up. Okay, Kipy is in 8th. He's fighting with Kondrakov right here. So this is a perfect spot for Kipy to be in. Sure, he's not doing great as far as points go, but comparatively, Kondrakov's not going to be getting many points for this race either. So he's exactly where he needs to be feeling pretty comfortable. And that's all there is to say about that. In the meantime, I think we just... Kipy just passed up 2 more. He passed up Kondrakov and Jeromu. But flipping forward, we've got Lopeska 40-50 meters out in the lead, first place over Tova. Tova is 30 meters ahead of Berdang in 3rd. And Kotick is near that. So Kotick continuing to try to catch Tova, but this is exactly what Tova needed to regain his awareness, regroup, and to start fighting back here. And he desperately needs it in these last few laps. Well, Kipy lost his 2 positions that he passed up on Jeromu and Kondrakov, and it only took him about half of a lap to do it with, too. Kipy does block off Kondrakov with a little smooth move right there, a little aggressive driving that we love to see off Kipy, but he doesn't take the shortcut. Kondrakov is straight back on him here. Kondrakov choosing to... Oh, it looked like he was walling in the cabinets, but not quite. Kipy continuing to block him through the vents, and they start lap 7 of 9.
Yeah, so this is probably the first race where Kipy won't finish in the top 3 or 4. It's still some laps to go, but it doesn't seem like. And it's actually going to make it a little bit more interesting. Kamtovalski and Lopeska finishing in the top 2.
Lap 8 of 9. Kotick versus Berdang for 3rd place. Oh. And then we've got Lopeska versus Tova. big gap for Lopezka. He's feeling really good here on the final lap, but Tova's got to be feeling great with the second place, and he's got a whole lot of gap too over third. In the meantime, Kipy still hovering in no man's land here in 7th place, but he's got one very important person behind him, and that's Kondrakov. So, our front runners beginning their final lap. Tova has passed Lopezka despite the gap that I was talking about previously.
And we can't forget that Kotick is still fighting for a win in that session as well, at least for a win.
Right, and so Tova did wreck, and he gets passed by Berdang there in the final turns. We'll see. Oh, he takes the inside. Will he find it? Whoa.
My God.
Now, that was a close one. And, oh no. Jeromu trying to finish out with a shortcut type deal, but he loses like 2 positions from it. He collides with the wall.
Kamtovalsky, so, this is like, oh, got to feel bad. That finish.
Definitely.
But we'll see how it will affect the tables right now. We still got 2 races ahead of us, and the table is being filled, and I can tell you that, yeah, Kotick is in lead, Kipy is second, and Kamtovalsky is having 7 points gap towards Kipy and 10 points towards Kotick. So it will be hard for him to fight for the win in the session, but he is still in a fight to overtake Kipy, because he regained 3 points towards Kipy. It could have been 1 more, but still, this is something to start. And Kondrakovsky not having the best here, Lopezka with a win. So if Lopezka actually wins back-to-back, then who knows, maybe he can take over Kamtovalsky, and this would be actually important for Lopezka, because in overall standings, Lopezka has 7 points. He's 7 points ahead of Kamtovalsky in the overall standing. So yeah, Kamtovalsky is fighting literally for a top 3 spot in the end of the season 2.
All right. We are going to be headed to Toy World Mayhem. I'm going to get predictions up for this one. And we are good to go.
And Lopezka, I have to say that he had some good races, because now he won. The previous one he came second, then he won again. Then he was like 6th, won again. So he's like win, some position, win, second, win. And maybe now, if he's consistent, he's gonna go like be second and win the last race. Maybe.
Yeah.
But Kamtovalsky, as a surprise, he did not win a single race yet. He came twice second, twice third, and twice fourth.
Like I've been saying, this is you can tell that the pressure is really getting to both Kondrakov and Tova. They are both fighting, they're both attacking a position, and the defenders, Kipy and Lopezka, are both coming out ahead, I would say, so far. Now, Kondrakov, like we said, 3 points behind Kipy. And he's only 8 points ahead of Lopezka. We are, with the Dr. Grudge, a rookie once again here at Toy World Mayhem. And this is mayhem. This first area is absolute mayhem. We don't see anyone falling off the track there, as people often do. They are going to be headed across the piano, and then another super tricky turn right here. People are going to be bumping up against, and Kipy does find a great angle for it, sets himself up perfectly, even passes Berdang. Another tricky area, tapping the corners a bit. It works out for him. Tova is in 5th.
Do we have supercars for this session?
No. We've got rookie to pro only, because it's stock cars only.
Okay.
Another tricky jump. Tova barely making his way through it, and he gets blocked off by Lopezka in a very fortunate way. It looked like he was going to spin out. Lopezka tries to dodge it, but he actually helps him out. Now he almost runs him into the side wall and gets him spun around. Kondrakov is going to lose traction. They both passed up somebody there. And Kotick versus Berdang for second. Lopezka is fifth, and Jeromu is actually leading this race.
So Lopezka actually putting pedal to the metal. He's not giving up until the last race, so it's really nice to see it from him.
Yeah, and he's been so having that big disadvantage by missing a track to start us out. Definitely not the start that Lopezka could have hoped for. He very easily could have just been like, I'm not going to show up. But he has been fighting tooth and nail to replace his other lowest position, which he does have a 10-pointer. So if he can find something like 5th place, he will be replacing that. But I don't think he's quite made it into 5th yet. So he's going to have to keep putting up a fight here. Kipy and Tova in 4th, 5th here in Toy World Mayhem. So this is just going to continue to be, I was going to say bolstering Kipy, but Tova is not really in the running here. He's actually defending against Kotick at this point. I think Kotick could possibly overtake him points-wise. So he's got to be very careful here. He's also trying to beat Lopezka, and this is a race where he's 2 points ahead, or 2 positions ahead of Lopezka for the moment. We've got about 3 laps left to go.
Cam Kowalski fighting for the top 3 spot in a 4th place currently. Where's Lopezka? In a second?
Lopezka is currently in 6th place. Kipy nearby. And there's Tova as well. Yurak saying AMW is a stock Super Pro. Nice.
So, Lopezka trying to gain positions, being blocked by Berdang, Jeromu in the fight. Oh, maybe now? Oh.
He does find that overtake, going to be hunting down another one. And this is accurate to its name. It is Mayhem. We're here on the final lap. Hard to really predict anything at this point because Lopezka, Jeromu, and Berdang have just been brawling it out here. As far as first second goes, it is Kotick about 10-15 meters ahead of Lopezka and Jeromu. So we got our final turns here. Lopezka looks to have emerged out of that brawl, and he did so victoriously. He does have Kotick ahead of him, and there is the finish.
Kipy finishing in
Kipy in
5th place.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the rankings will go into the last race of today's session and who will be the champion of Division 3 here. Lopezka with a 2nd place finish. Cam Kowalski, I don't know, he finished 5th or something like that. We'll see how the tables will look really briefly. Still the points are being filled, so not ready yet.
Getting a prediction out in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, so much can happen in this last race still. But it feels like Kipy may actually defend his first position. Kondrakov is not having the best session. He's currently in the 8th place in that session. It's a disaster for him. So Kipy is probably going to defend. It's only, if it's not Kondrakov, then it's Lopezka contesting him for a win, and the gap between Lopezka and Kipy is 11 points. So all Kipy has to do is just, he doesn't even have to race the last race.
Yeah, it technically doesn't even have to do that.
Yeah, Kotick is in a lead, in a huge lead. Cam Kowalski, It's all okay. So now it's kind of between Kamtowaski and Lopeska. It's too bad that Kamtowaski cannot take over Kipy right now in the standings. So the question is like, what happened? The difference between Kamtowaski and Lopeska is 7 points. So I think Lopeska has to also race here really strongly, and because who's behind Lopeska? It's Roddick, and Lopeska has 8-point advantage over Roddick. So I think there's also nothing changing, so probably and everything in the table won't change as much.
Now, I
Probably
will say,
Lopeska can
overall point,
Lopeska can overtake Kondrakovsky though.
yes, and overall points also, we've got Berdang versus Roddick. They're separated by 1 point, and I think currently their standings, in the current session standings, they're next to each other as well. They're very close to each other. So we could see, I think we could actually see Roddick passing Berdang for sixth place here at the very finale. We are they're blocking cars. We've got the rotor on Mysterious Toy Vault Factory 2, and I've got to say that would be a spectacular final race. I find it hard to believe that people will let it through, though. Harvester was blocked, but rotor is not being blocked right now. Kotick says, "Oh, come on." It does look like Rotor is going to be our final race. So can we get some hype in the chat for Rotor here?
What's that car?
No, it's a massively wide car, and this is a track that has some massively narrow portions to it. So we're definitely going to see some serious carnage here with the Rotor if it doesn't get blocked. We do have Berdang. Okay, it says Berdang blocking, and then Berdang's response is yep. So Rotor was blocked. It took the host asking him to if he's blocking or not, unless I missed something in the chat. But Berdang does find his keyboard and types in yep as a response to that. So, oh, Fat Slug. I don't know if we have any blocks left. It is a rookie. This is a very tricky car, though. It's a very top speed centered car with a very poor acceleration. So, people who are able to lock down top speed through large portions of the track are going to find a skill advantage here. This is a rookie, but it's definitely a rookie with a much higher skill ceiling than we see with a lot of rookie cars. So this will still be a treat here, despite it not being the rolling rotor that I know lots of people were very excited for. We do have the Fat Slug, though. So come on, we got to have some cheers for Fat Slug. We've even got a Fat Slug emote here with the Revolt United channel. So
Go spam the emote, guys.
yeah.
What a way to finish the Division 3 season with a fat slug on the last track.
Oh yeah. Okay, Kondrakov gets a pole position. We'll see if he's able to do anything with it. If he would be able to break away from all the bumps and bruises here for getting caught in the middle pack, then this will be great. It is, I think, Berdang who is leading currently. He does get caught up in the door, though. Imagine if you were driving a car that was twice as wide as this, like the rotor. There would be absolute mayhem through here. The car is still struggling to make it through. We got an important section right here. Very tight chicane. They do mostly make it through. Look at Kotick holding. He's conserving. He's conserving that top speed. And you can see how it rockets him in over these other Fat Slugs who didn't have the proper line headed into a turn. Jeromu getting knocked way out into next week. He's been knocked out. And now, finishing up our first lap, Lopeska making his way through two cars, but he's too far on the inside. Kipy passes up. Now, keep in mind, we've got Roddick versus Berdang as well as one of our races. Berdang is in second, and Roddick is in 8th, and he's almost in last even. Meanwhile, Berdang versus Kondrakov for second. So this could be Berdang locking in a win over Roddick overall in this session. Kipy having the doors closed on them. Yes, Kipy, those doors do close. They will block you out. Okay, another very important stretch of the track. Chicane, Bourdais executing it well, but Kondrakov executing it just as well, and he had better top speed headed into it. So this is going to be great for Kondrakov. We talked about how close Kondrakov is to Kipy in the overall points, but at this point, I think Kondrakov has fallen too far down. But it is important to note he is ahead of Lopeska here, so there won't be any surprise upsets as far as that goes. As long as he can lock this down, Bourdais does wreck, and he falls behind Tova as well, and Kipy wants to pass him as well.
And this could kind of be said if Kontrakovsky finishes first in that race, just as this is the last race, and this was the session where, well, it was all for him or nothing to actually overtake Kipy and win the entire season.
Yeah, and too little, too late. Basically, this would be a great. I mean, we see Kipy way down in the standings in this race. He's like 7th place right now. Now he has had some miraculous come from behinds in this session so far. So it's not to say that he's definitely going to be finishing in 7th. But this could be the start of something great for Kondrakov if it weren't the final track in the session. Lopeska trying to find the inside. He's definitely got the better angling around that section. We'll see on the turn.
That was a nice try by Lopeska. Unfortunately, Kondrakowski defending his position for Lopeska. Kipy in 6th place, but he is already extremely safe. Seb with a huge gap. Towards Jeromo.
Now, keep in mind, Bourdais in 3rd. I think we had Roddick further up than last time we checked. I'm checking right now. No, he's still out there in 7th. He's near Tova, Kipy, and Kotick, though. But he's got to pass all 3 of them and then also Bourdais. So that's going to be very tricky. Kondrakov, he's in 2nd. He's not defending against Bourdais too well. Bourdais, we can see just how much of a gap he gets through sections like this. Chicane coming up as well. He's very tight on the inside. He's going to lose some speed through that. Kondrakov is going to gain an advantage, but only slightly. Roddick moving into 6th. He's trying to jettison his way up a few positions. Bourdais wrecks. He gets passed up by 2, Kotick and Kipy, and there's Roddick. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't quite remember the current standings between Bourdais and Roddick. I think Roddick might be leading over Bourdais. So actually this could be a season victory for Roddick over Bourdais here. But we've got 3 positions up for the taking, 2nd, 3rd, 4th on the table here as they head into the final lap. And Bourdais has not let them escape yet. Lap 5 of 5, tricky turns, tricky doorways. They are going to get nice RNG. The door will be open for them fully. Taking the left side for the boost forward. And we've got a tricky box chicane. One of the last sections of the track that can catch people off guard. It's caught Kipy. And from the looks of things, it caught Bourdais as well. We saw that number going up quite rapidly, and indeed, Bourdais is only 3 meters ahead of Roddick at this point. So it could see things continue to embroil. But it doesn't. This one position, I don't know if it will matter too much because Bourdais missed out on the chance of passing up Kotick, Kondrakov, and Kipy. That chance is basically all but evaporated. Lopeska finishes in 1st place, Kotick 2nd.
And this can be huge because we don't see Kam Towalski finishing in the 7th place, so
okay,
there might be some things happening. Lopeska with a nice, beautiful finish. Kondrakowski unfortunately not actually maintaining his 1st position. Congratulations to Lopeska, but soon we're gonna see who won the session today, and probably Kotick, I think, won the session today. And we're gonna crown the champion of Division 3. Also, we're gonna have questions for our top 3 finishers. So also chat, prepare your questions. We're gonna pick the most fun or interesting question to ask our top 3 finishers. And we're gonna invite them for the interviews. for sure. Didn't win the league because I didn't want to from Lopez. Yeah, okay, okay. Let's see how are the standings at the end. And we already see who won the session. And it's gonna be none other than Kotick winning today the session. He was the most consistent player. Just look at those finishes. His worst position was fifth in today's sessions. A lot 3 wins. He got twice second, 3 times third. Really consistent by him. So congratulations, Kipy. Uh, Finishing second, Lopezka third with also 1 track missing. So I guess like if he had like one high top 3 finish, he could overtake Kipy here. But still wouldn't matter because Kotick was way too consistent with what 9 points advantage over second place. That's impressive. Cam
Yeah.
Tovaski, huge congratulations for today's struggle, finishing fourth. Unfortunately, a little bit short, a couple of races, not 3 points short of Lopezka in if we talk about top 3 finish. So unfortunately, Cam Tovaski won't be taking over probably Lopezka. We're gonna see the final standings really soon. Sebre in the last place, still. Nice effort by you, Jeromo. You were supposed to win today. You said you're gonna win. You won though one race, so still huge congratulations to you with that. And yes, let's see if we have the final standings of Division 3 and who is going to be the winner. And let's say that the winner is taking home $11, second place is $6, and third place is $3, $3 plus the session wins. So let me see if we have actually Division 3 standings after 10 sessions. Now we don't. If we actually could have someone fill the table for me to update the results of the entire Division 3. From the
It's
details,
being filled in right now.
okay, from the
And
details,
I'd also like to say Berdang ended up passing Kondrakov by the end of the session. They tied points wise, but Berdang had a second place, and Kondrakov's best position in that session was third. So Berdang actually managed to beat Kondrakov, but he was behind Roddick. And in the overall standings, Berdang is 1 point ahead of Roddick. So with the result today, they could possibly be tied in overall point standings. We're going to have to wait until they get around to marking out their lowest place positions. But that's going to be updated shortly.
okay, okay. So I think if we talk about session wins, this gives Kipy a 1 session win, so he gonna have additional dollar. Kondrakovsky with 2 additional dollars because with 2 sessions. Lopezka with 3 session wins. Kamtovaski with 2 session wins, and Kotick, he won 2 sessions with today's session, so he gets $2 additionally. I feel like Kotick is outside of top 3 finish, but I'm not entirely sure honestly. He won today. He had 108 points. So it is quite interesting. He could potentially overtake Kamtovaski, but not finishing in top 3, unfortunately for him. But still, they are with the prizes here.
These standings getting updated is insane. Y'all are in for a surprise here. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing that's going to blow your mind, but we definitely have some interesting stuff popping up here. We are almost done. We've got about 2 more people's final scores that we've got to fill in,
Wait,
and then we can show those final
I'm
scores.
checking and I don't see at mine actually being filled in. I hope like this is the correct sheet because I don't see in mine anything being updated though.
Oh right, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
looking at the main. So we might have to also then update the thing on what's shown on stream right after this. Um, two
yeah.
things stand out. Well, actually, 3 things stand out to me immediately. So I'm excited to talk about them. I'll save it until we see it on my or on the main screen before I give you all any spoilers. But definitely some interesting stuff.
update on the table. Anyway, I hope you all really enjoyed the Joker session. I'm looking forward to with what will happen in the second division, first division. Unfortunately, the hype will be little bit lower because we already know who won the divisions, but still there are fights for second, third, and fourth place, especially in Division
Exactly.
1, because Division 1 is top for money. And still there's a huge bonus for session win, which is $5 in Division 1. So
Yeah.
that's a huge stake. You know, like one session win in Division 1 is like winning 5 sessions in Division 3. So this is huge
Right.
difference. But also we know that Division 1 is just harder than Division 3, obviously, right?
So yeah, Division Two, I will say we've got a tight battle for both second and third. We've got Copysoft, Super, and Ashen all within about 15 points of each other in total between second, third, and fourth. So Ashen's going to be angling for third, Super is going to be angling for second, and
Okay,
Copysoft's going to be trying to defend it. Are we ready?
we've got the tables ready, and this is actually
Cool.
extremely interesting. And
Yeah.
obviously, we already know Kipy is the winner, but
Whew!
Low
Whew!
Pesca not finishing second. Kondrakovsky defended his position with only 2 points, if I see it correctly. That's
Yeah,
insanely
yeah.
close.
I wonder what would have happened if Lopesca showed up to the first race. We could
Yeah.
have actually seen Lopesca stealing second from Kondrakov there, but ultimately, yeah, it is Kondrakov barely holding on to second place over Lopesca, but Lopesca will stay in third.
Yes,
Doesn't get
exactly.
passed up by Tova.
Yes, so huge congratulations. We invite Kipy, Kondrakovsky, and Lopeska for the Discord call. If you are there,
Yes.
you can join the voice, and we'll just move you to our voice chat, and we'll just have a talk there. Wait, not the scene. I actually will
Also,
also wait. We are on the.
yeah.
Let me check 1 second. Okay, can you? Actually, I'm thinking how to do it technically. You know, I'm thinking how to do it technically here.
In the meantime, I will say Tova barely defended fourth place against Kotick, was 2 points away from Kotick finishing out in fourth. And also, we saw Roddick pass up Berdang. Roddick was 1 point behind Berdang out in seventh place. He passed up Berdang at the end of that session by 8 points total. So Roddick driving out of his mind in the final session, and he does find sixth place.
Okay, let me check one thing. Uh, Wait, I will turn off one thing here and see how this will work. Wait, I'm just tweaking some stuff. Oh, okay, I don't know how to set the Discord. I'm gonna have to send, I will have to send the Vimix calls, but then again, we can only have 4 people at the same time here talking with us, I think, not.
I could, I could. I mean, if you want to ask the questions.
Wait, let me just check one more thing. Why is the Discord just working so weirdly and not as I would like it to work? Wait, something is not correct with the standings, I feel. Okay, I will actually create some Vimix calls. That will be the safest bet. With the people here, actually, I'll be the safest one. Uh, okay, so I'm sending the first one to Kipy. Doesn't have to be with the camera, he just has to join us here. And where's Kipy? Kipy. Where's Division 3? Hello. Okay, we need also who else? Lopez and Kondrakovsky, right? So we're gonna get them as well here. And oh wait, we can actually have all of them. Yeah, yeah. I think we can have
Okay.
all of them because I forgot one thing. I think we can have all of them. Okay. Question is if they are joining or not. There. And we need Lopesca. Okay, I'm getting a link for Lopesca then. And I think this should work. We're gonna have our top 3. Here, guys, prepare your questions as well. Oh, wait, the maximum has been reached. Okay, so actually I cannot have more than that. I thought so we can only have 3 calls.
Okay.
Wait, oh yeah! Okay, I see my mistake. Yeah, we can have all of them.
Okay.
We can have all of them. I am sending a link to Lopesca. Where's Lopesca? Actually, put the Discord as well. Lopesca. Where's Lopesca? Okay, I think we have all the links. I will just waiting for people to join. I will just make, yeah, they should have everything working here. Just in case, I will do it like this. Oh, wait, not this, this, and this. But we'll do it like maybe low, low, low. Okay. So we're waiting for our top 3 finishers to join. Is the table correct, or is there something different with it? Because I was not paying attention.
Looks good to me.
Okay, don't tell me it should look like that. I know. Okay. I think top 3 is like it is. See Hong on OSRS. What's that? There's a question to you, Hong.
Soon.
Okay, so we're waiting for Kipy, Lopez, and Kondrakowski to join. If they don't join, we'll maybe wait with those interviews for the next streams as well. Maybe we'll do a group talk with all the
Yeah.
participants from all the divisions. Just have like this one huge Discord call with people and just talk about the season, whatnot. So we're gonna give them like a more like 5 minutes to figure this out. If not,
Yeah.
we will move those interviews for the next time where we can summarize the season, maybe at the Saturday when Division 1 finishes. So we'll see. We'll see. For now, Kipy is the winner. So overall, Kipy wins $12 if I'm correctly, but still waiting for people to confirm. Lopeska no answering, Kipy no answering, Kontrakovsky
Ah.
is the only one active here, but no one joined yet, from what I can see. Okay, maybe. Okay, now I should have the view on everything. I will stop one thing here. Okay, still waiting for the people to join. But I guess we won't have people joining us, unfortunately. Anyways, Division 2 is Friday, right?
Yep, 19 ETC.
So it will be 1 hour later than today we start. So it's going to be
Right.
so okay, it's good. Don't worry, I'm not gonna bail you Saturday. You have to join G first, you know. We're gonna have a
Yeah.
talk as well with you for sure. For Division 2, if you can check, there's copies of the Super Saiyajin fighting Ashen Force as well, and Division 4.
Mm-hmm.
There's for sure Power 8 Frostbitten fighting Ama is there close, so there's also a lot of interesting stuff happening. But okay, I feel like people are not joining for the interview. We're gonna probably just to finish the stream. Emotions calm down, 4th place hurts, but I had X Division 1 and 2 plates against me, so maybe this all has not been bad after all. Stan Kamtovalsky, huge congratulations to you with being consistent, finishing 4th is not a bad result. You still won
Mm-hmm.
some sessions, so there is some money. I'm really glad that was like, if you look even at the rankings, the top 5 was extremely close. All of you gained over 100 points, with Kotick having 123 points and Kipy 145 points. So the gap is not that big. It will all close, so still congrats to you for
Yeah,
sure.
Tova, you had your work cut out for you to pass Lopeska, especially with Lopeska showing up today. Maybe if he had that 10-pointer in his session log, and you came like in first or something, you could have. But it was tough. It was going to be tough either way for you to pass him.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we're gonna finish. Huge congratulations to Kipy. I hope we're gonna get all the people to actually summarize it tree as well, just to talk.
I would love that.
How are you
Yeah, I would
guys
love a group meeting.
feeling about it? How was the sessions? What did you like? What did you not like? There are a lot of. We would like to also talk with people from Division 2, also with the people from Division 1. So don't bail out on us. Prepare for this. That we're gonna try to reach out to you. And I think we're finishing for today. That was Division 3 for you guys, and that's not everything because we still got Division 2 and Division 1 coming up in the next day. So I'm signing out. Thank you, Hong, for being here, and goodbye, everyone. Until Friday, I guess. Bye bye.